Hey, what's up? Silas here. Just a quick impromptu video. I've been thinking about this for a bit. I just saw this thing in this Facebook group or something. Somebody posted a photo of Pakistan, which is in the mountains. It's of the mountains, and if you don't know, I actually saw this also reading this other manga called what was the manga called? I forget what the manga was. It was by the guy who's doing Innocent, who I'm reading right now. But it was about this Japanese climber that climbed. He was a mountain climber, and he wanted to climb the east face of K2, which is the mountain in the Himalayas. And while reading this, it turned out that yes, Pakistan, the Himalaya mountain range, passes through many different countries. So to approach this, you have to approach through Pakistan. So with Pakistan in general, most people, a lot of people, I don't say most people because what do people mean when they say most people? But a lot of people know about Pakistan through things like, I think it was where Osama bin Laden was. He was by a military base. There's some terrorist incidents coming out of there. So people have this opinion towards Pakistan. And in this group, somebody posted a photo of the mountain range and it reminded me of this thing. And also, somebody wrote there, like, this is Pakistan. That's all they wrote was, this is Pakistan. So they wrote that down there. And then one of the comments was, don't tell most Americans this, because this is a whole different idea of what they have about Pakistan. And I was thinking about that. And in my social media posts on Instagram and Twitter and things like that, I normally tag like this is or tis Nairobi, this is Manhattan, wherever I am at that time. I'll normally tag some posts and say this is that, because I'm thinking yes, it's also good to show that this is a different part of it. And with me recording the videos out here on the balcony, sometimes I'll record most of my videos at night because it's a lot quieter, but occasionally you'll hear the cars driving by. This is a pretty good neighborhood in Nairobi. I think a lot of people might not see Nairobi this way. A lot of people might see Nairobi, might see Kenya, the safaris, the animals out there. They might see like the slums, like Kibera slum is like, there's 1 million people in that slum. So they might see that part of Africa. They might see that part of Kenya. They might see that part of Nairobi. So when I'm traveling around and I see places say this is this, and I get that. And I do get people have a certain perception of a certain place. But like right now, if I just post a photo of this out here in the daytime, like yeah, this is Nairobi. And somebody like, oh wow, that's awesome. That's Nairobi. That's cool. That's a different part I've seen. But just 2 days ago, this is Tuesday, I'm recording this. On Sunday, I was woken up to sounds of these bangs. And with these bangs, I'm thinking, okay, it could be a transformer because a week before, there was a transformer that went out and then the power was out for a while. But that bang was followed by another bang, and I was like, okay, what is that? Then I faintly heard a scream, and then I woke up out of bed and was like, okay, that's different. More bangs moving around in distance. So we start wondering, like, okay, what's going on in the house? I'm running downstairs to check with the people in the house and saying, okay, what's happening? Are those gunshots? And then we start thinking, yeah, that sounds like gunshots. So that's also Nairobi. That's also this neighborhood. So even this location itself, by me posting saying this is Nairobi, it might change your view on it a certain way, but depending on the time and the place and the things that happen, does not necessarily mean this is not happening in this place, that this place is positive. You see that one photo, a photo is worth, they say a photo is worth 1,000 words. Well, yes, a photo is also worth 7 billion opinions, because if each person in the world can see that photo and think an entirely different thing. They might see the video of what's happening and think an entirely different thing. That doesn't necessarily capture what happened with it. So with that shooting, it was just like right there. It's dark, but right over there was where the initial, I think it was a car robbery or something happened. And then somebody was shot dead there. And then the other 2 people ran away. That's the information that we found out. But that didn't even make the nightly news. Yet if something like this happens in a place like the United States of America, wherever you are, there's a local television channel. Like this is Nairobi, this is a capital city. I didn't really see any news about this. I'm going to double check and see if I can find any news stories about what actually happened. But the way we found out that information was canvassing people in the neighborhood, talking to people around the area, and they were telling us little snippets of what happened. But when it comes to a situation like that, your perception of what happens, the time and the place that you're in, is entirely different. You live in a place like Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America. Most of the city is peaceful most of the time, but then there's some places that are also mostly peacefully most of the time. But when they're violent, they're really, really, really violent. And also that one video I was talking about how the world gets safer, yet people seem to be in more danger because you hear about more of the things. Like in the United States of America, there's no suburban neighborhood in any capital city or in major city area where somebody gets shot, where people hear it, people are looking around wondering what's going on, the police intervene, and you don't actually see that on the nightly news. It doesn't make some kind of local newspaper. Yet here that can happen. So when you think about this, when you think about when you see pictures and people trying to make certain points by seeing certain pictures, capturing one moment in a certain place, do understand that that place could have different things. Just how this neighborhood is pretty good. It's pretty awesome. Actually, I like it, enjoy it. I enjoy my time here. It's a pretty safe area, but that violence can happen. Just like that picture of Pakistan was pretty, it was cool and everything. You see the mountains are looking cool. Not only is it the fact that living there isn't what most of the people in Pakistan live like. Most of the people in the world don't live in mountains, but it's a situation where there could be a blizzard, could be a dangerous thing. Even this amazing, pristine mountain, people climb up there, but most of the people who do that end up dying. But anyway, so it's just think about the perception and how things change due to how you see things versus how they actually are. So not everything is not exactly as it seems. And one of my ongoing themes that I'm adding to this is most of the problem with the world is people dealing with X in how they define X rather than what X is. So don't necessarily just see that picture and think, okay, everything bad about Pakistan should be thrown out the window. People are just making these things up. And also it's like when somebody says, oh, most Americans, what do people mean by most? Like I said that earlier in this story, I was like, most people think this. That's one of the things I'm going to try to roll back on. I suggest you roll back on that thing because what I wanted to ask this person with that poster, with that video, who was saying, or the person who commented on the photo who said, most Americans think this. Then I'm like, okay, what do you have in mind when you say most? Do you think it's 30% of Americans? Now, if 30% of Americans should be something for you to say most think this and make a judgment out of Americans, then if at least 30%, let's say 31% of Pakistan is not these mountains, then wouldn't people be right to say that most of Pakistan isn't that pristine? Most of Pakistan isn't that peaceful? But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. More of an impromptu thing. Have some more videos up soon. Got some few ideas and projects I'm thinking of. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Till next video. Goodbye. Oh yeah, also just let me know, what are some places that where places that you've lived where you have an experience where people from outside that place think it's a lot worse than it actually is, or in your experiences they think it's a lot worse, like they hear you came from there and they're like, oh my god, how bad was that? Or how many places are there where you thought it was really horrible and you ended up going there and were really surprised that, oh, this is actually not at all what I thought. But yeah, okay, let me know. Goodbye.